Wow.
Yes.
Oh, welcome.
Well, you know, this the book is brilliant. I can't even tell you.
I've heard you're a huge fan.
I'm a huge fan.
And I too.
It's a series of 3 books, and I'm telling you, it's magnificent. And the fact that they have made this movie, the first really in 25 years since Joy Luck Club.
That's right.
Did y'all realize when you came together and said, you know, it's us and no one's pretending to be us, it's us being us?
You know what? It was such a pure experience. I mean, everybody on set knew that there was something special about this project.
Right.
And that filtered down from John Chu, the director. Like, he had this vision. And the fact that Kevin Kwan, the author, was such an integral part to the entire project, it just had this sort of just authenticity behind it.
Yes.
And the fact that it was an all-Asian cast just brought the game.
And this is your first movie.
It's my first ever movie, yeah.
Wow. Wow.
But I actually heard you turn down auditioning for this role several times.
Yeah, you know, it was, so I've been a presenter, so I was much in studios, I was a travel host for a good 7 years, and I wasn't in that frame of mind. And a lot in life, I've sort of designated my mindset to being something.
Right.
And at that point, I was a presenter. And so when the offer came, they were like, oh, do you want to audition for this role? It's going to be a big movie. I was like, oh my God, I've heard of it. It's going to be fantastic, but it's for someone else. Someone else who is going to bring the A game, who's a legitimate actor, who the studio is going to gamble on, because it's such a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you were fantastic, because I saw the movie and I've read all the books, and I had you in mind
Thank you so
when I
much.
was reading it.
But you didn't know that, Sonny, until he walked onto the set a few months.
He was in the audience, he visited us, and I said, oh my goodness, that's the guy.
That's very sweet.
But what was interesting to me was you've received some backlash from fans of the book, which I don't understand, over your casting. Some people question whether you were Asian enough.
That's right. Yeah.
For the role.
You know, it's something that I think a lot of mixed race people have. And being sort of half British, there were sort of outcries of whitewashing. But you know, I don't have hate for that. I think it's definitely a conversation that should be seen, because it kind of just shows the studios that we're watching. We're very aware of how we want our films to tell authentic stories now. But for me, being sort of half British, I've always struggled with my identity. And the one thing that I learned very young was to own my identity.
Yes.
And I knew I'm Asian through and through. There was nothing that I needed to prove. So when that came up, I wasn't heartbroken, or I wasn't like sort of shied away from it. I think the best way to fight that sort of stuff is opening a dialogue, and that's what we did.
Well, it's not like you were pretending to be something else. This is what I tell people all, because it comes up, they say, oh, you're not black enough. Well, I was black the whole time. You know, you're not a little bit black or a little bit Asian. You are or you're not.
That's
and
right.
you are.
And what's wrong with being both?
Exactly, and being proud of
Why
that.
isn't half enough?
Exactly. Why not?
Why isn't half enough?
I struggle with
For the
that all the
part.
time. I'm half Puerto Rican, half black, and people want you to choose, but you can't
Well,
choose.
now with that DNA test, nobody is one thing anyway.
Yeah.
So, you know, before becoming an actor, oh, Sonny, that was your question, sorry.
No. Go.
Oh, sorry, guys, it's me.
Sarah.
In addition to Crazy Rich Asians, you were actually playing Blake Lively's husband in another movie called A Simple Favor.
That's right.
So even though you mentioned Crazy Rich Asians was your first movie, this is kind of skyrocketing you to like leading man category. What does your wife think of this?
You know, I think
you're
that was.
married?
I am married.
No,
yes.
it's the ring.
there's
I've
a
got
ring.
my
There's a
beautiful
ring.
wife, Liv. You know, that was the biggest challenge. It wasn't the filming of the movies. It wasn't the marketing that we've sort of gone around the world for. It was the fact that I had to see my wife go through so much distress in knowing that she had to watch me fall in love with somebody else on screen and watch me. It's almost like such a weird voyeuristic thing, seeing somebody cheat on you. But you know, it looks so real.
Everything.
Exactly.
Getting paid to cheat.
And depending on how many times she watched the movie, that's how many times you cheat.
But
It's a lot.
she's you know, she came to grips with it, and it was a learning process for both of us, and a relationship like that.
Well, listen, what's her name? Liv?
Liv.
Liv. This is going to happen a lot. He's with you. Don't worry about it. Thanks to Henry Golding. Crazy Rich Asians will be in theaters August 15th. Do yourself a favor. Get the book. See the film.